your only place in the brosphere that has sports with good sports takes and left wing politics all in one convenient space for you to watch and use to your will. I'm here today with my brother.
Oh yeah. I'm Cade. We got a lot of stuff for everybody today.
Mhm.
Kind of first thing we're gonna talk about is the Terry McLaurin story. We're gonna do our way too early Super Bowl odds, and we're also gonna look at some other random dudes top 10 as well.
Yep.
Um, and then we might talk about some other things in sports, but we'll transition to some stories in politics, like Trump wanting to change the commander's name and um Venezuelan Little League teams getting denied entry into the U.S., which is insane. Greg Kelly talking about Ghislaine Maxwell that she's a victim, completely lunatic take, and then also Trump wanting to pull out of Gaza. Um, and taking his mask off, saying that Hamas wants to die. So
Yep.
strap in.
Yep.
But we're gonna start with, as always, sports uh, slash football first.
Yes. We certainly are. Now, I don't know if you heard this story or not. What's going on with Terry McLaurin, right? Like, we know the Commanders are a retirement home right now. We know that they are just everyone there is so old, which is fine. It's fine, right? Like that
Mhm.
it's going to be a good team regardless, you know? But
Yeah.
they're
Eh,
going to lose their youngest wide receiver if they don't do something. Um it's
eh,
what
mhm.
happened here is how it all started, at least from my perspective, from what I've seen, is that Terry McLaurin, first of all, it doesn't seem like he likes his contract very much. That's fair. But what what's really going on here is that the Commanders did a social media post, right, about all of the players on the team that had their first children this year, right? And Terry McLaurin and his wife had a child over the summer, and they didn't put their child or Terry McLaurin in the post,
Disgusting. That's actually disgusting.
right?
Why would you not?
It,
That's so wild.
if the only way that we could possibly ascertain that something's going on, that like with that, is if the Commander's front office told the social media person to be like, hey, he's holding out on his contract, don't put him in that post.
Yeah.
Where I mean, he's still
Did
contractually obligated to the Commanders, right? He's not going anywhere
did
else.
can I let me just ask, like, who started the holdout? Did Terry start it, or was he forced to because they didn't want to renegotiate?
I don't know. If I had to make a guess, like it would probably be that Terry is holding out because he wants to renegotiate the contract. So it
Yeah.
was him that did it first, but
Like,
I
but
don't know
I
for
mean,
sure.
knowing, just by watching Terry for the past, couple of years, he seems to do everything right. So it wouldn't be like,
Yeah.
to me, it seems like he would talk to them first and be like, "Hey, I want to renegotiate this contract because me and Jane Daniels like single-handedly carried this fucking team to the playoffs and
Right.
to two playoff wins last year."
Yeah, dude. Like
So,
the most un like disrespected
no,
team,
I
honestly,
mean,
this offseason too.
they probably would have missed the playoffs without Terry.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
And the I guess like the best case scenario with them without Terry is that they would have lost a couple more games, especially like the long Hail Mary games that um those two games that it came down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
They probably would have lost those two and then faced a way tougher opponent at the beginning of the playoff at the playoff start, and then they would have lost. So I'm just saying, like, and I wouldn't even put it past the Commanders. They probably know that, and that's why they don't want to renegotiate, because what they know that their team is old,
Yep.
and that if his contract is coming up in either the next year or the next 2 years, they might just be like, "Hey, we don't want to renegotiate the contract because our window is now.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we renegotiate, we don't want to pay him too much money and then get stuck with him when our window is gone. But
Yeah.
I think that's stupid. I think the goal is to win a Super Bowl, so you need to pay your guys that are going to get you there. And Terry McLaurin, I mean, he's disrespected. I mean, he's one of the best in the league.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, I would say he's probably around the top 5 to top 7 range on wide receivers in the NFL
Definitely
right
in the
now.
top 10. Yeah, for sure.
100% in the top 10, but I don't think he's 10. I think he's
I think 7 is probably a good spot for him.
7
Yeah, I
or
would agree with
better,
that. Yeah,
maybe 5 to 7. So
definitely.
I think it's really dumb for the Commanders not to want to renegotiate his contract, especially after last season where they did not expect to do well that season. Their defense was straight trash, and the only thing that was getting them through those games was Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, 100%. Um, yeah, I don't really
Uh,
know what to say about any of it here, except for, I think Bobby Wagner has a really good take on what's happening with his contract. And Bobby Wagner, I mean, Bobby Wagner, one of the most respected in the game, if not one like the most respected player in the game, especially because of his business that he's done with the NFLPA and his negotiations with the NFLPA for his fellow, not only teammates but for his opponents as well. Um, he said that it's a business, and so some of the business is not your business, which I think is a great take to have when it comes to
yeah.
this.
Um. Well, let's say they don't find a deal, which is extremely unlikely.
Yeah.
I mean, you said that the Commanders are pretty old, which I agree. I mean, I think their window is probably this year and next. But
Mm-hmm.
they do have some young players on the offensive side um that maybe when they get into their prime they could come back and be a contender. But so let's say Terry doesn't, you know, get a contract with Commanders and he goes somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would mean that the Commanders are probably not going to go to the playoffs. But they have Ben Sinnott, which I think he's a younger tight end. And he looks pretty good, and he's also with Zach Ertz there. So that's like a really good like kind of mentoring relationship that they got going on there.
Yeah.
They still have like young receiver. They have Luke McCaffrey, who's we don't know really what he's about yet. We'll probably see if he can make that wide receiver 3 spot this year.
He's a fan favorite, man.
Um,
The fans
if
love him.
because we have Terry McLaurin, although he might be gone,
Right.
and then but we also have Debo,
Mm-hmm.
which might be one of the players that is making this holdout for Terry a little bit harder because maybe the Commanders feel comfortable having Debo and not Luke and not Terry. But I don't
Right.
know.
Which I
That
think
does
is a
not
mistake.
seem.
Especially
Yeah,
after
heavily.
losing Olamide Zaccheaus this past year, who had a career
Yeah,
season. Um,
right.
the Commanders
Uh,
also notably signed Trey Martin, or sorry, not Trey, Tay Martin,
mhm.
who played for Tennessee last season. I think he was drafted by the San Francisco, oh no, UDFA from Oklahoma State. Joined the 49ers, spent 2 years there, went to Tennessee, caught a touchdown for Tennessee, which is the highlight of an article that Jordan Dejani wrote. And apparently, this person thinks that the fact that they signed this dude that scored a touchdown that Will Levis threw him last season is going to make a difference uh, for his contract is actually just laughable in my opinion. But um, there's another guy in the mix apparently, and they just signed him yesterday. So
Um, the other thing, they also have Noah Brown. They signed Noah Brown, which, dude, Noah Brown has like I just learned this morning. He has like the craziest stat that you would never guess that Noah Brown has.
what is it?
He drew more yardage on pass interference penalties than anyone in the league other than one wide receiver. And guess who it was?
Who?
Justin Jefferson. So
What?
apparently Noah Brown is extremely hard to guard.
Goated tight end. Holy
uh
shit. Okay.
no, he's a slot.
Oh,
He's a
he's a
slot
slot.
receiver,
Never
I'm pretty
mind.
sure.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Pharaoh Brown. Sorry, that's my
But
fault.
yeah, apparently Noah Brown's kind of a beast. We haven't really seen a lot from him. I know he had that one really great year in Dallas when
Yeah.
he was playing with them, I think. But other than that, we haven't seen much from Noah Brown. But yeah, so as you can see, they just have a lot of like kind of unproven players. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, Terry McLaurin, I mean, he's still young too. Isn't Terry McLaurin's like 26, 27?
He's 29.
Oh, he's 29?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, I
Right.
mean, he's still one of the best in the league
Hold on. Yeah,
coming
he's
in.
29. Yeah, I mean, I agreed. Yeah, 100% he is. Yeah.
So
Um.
and they're again like their window is closing. I think if
Yes.
Terry McLaurin does not sign, I think that window is gonna be closed.
Pretty soon
I
here,
mean, they
honestly.
were what weren't they? How did it shake down last season?
What do you mean?
Um, didn't weren't the Commanders one game away? They made the championship game, no?
Yeah, they lost to the Eagles.
Yeah. So I mean, they're one game away from being in the Super Bowl. I mean,
Yep.
next year is definitely their year. They just need to bring everybody back.
Yes, they do. Very badly. They need everyone back, and they need everyone bought into Dan Quinn's team and the way he builds his team. So if they can get that, then I mean they've got some fighting chance, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just thought, God, I just couldn't imagine being a social media person and then either intentionally or even accidentally leaving out like your best player from a post. Like, what are you
Yeah,
doing,
that's
dude?
really weird.
It's
That's
so
super weird.
so bizarre.
That is not the move you think it is. That is not the power play you think it is.
No, not at all. Not even close. Um, now
It's so petty. Like it's honestly so fucking petty.
it
It's
really
insane.
is, yeah.
Like how much this dude has done for this team,
Mhm.
and that's what you're gonna do. I mean, come on, man.
Mhm. I know. Okay, are you ready for the next thing here? This
Yeah,
is
you
this
have
is pretty funny.
scalpers
Yeah,
in the
bro.
notes. I have no idea what you're talking about. So
So it it came out. I think. Hold on, let me see. It came out yesterday that more than 100 players and NFL coaches scalped tickets to the Super Bowl this past year. So they got tickets and then they sold them for higher than what MSRP was as players and coaches making millions of dollars.
really,
Yep.
oh wow. So players and coaches were buying tickets
Mm-hmm.
and scalping them.
Yep. And not only buying them, I mean, they were because they have first dibs, for friends and family, for people going to the Super Bowl,
Okay.
and they were scalping those tickets, so they were getting them, and then they were selling them for way more than
So
what
these were
market price was.
players that were part of the Super Bowl and coaches that were part of the Super Bowl, or these players that were outside of the Super
That we don't. It's not said.
Bowl? Because is it still true that players that are outside of the Super Bowl have first dibs on the Super Bowl tickets?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe so. So the NFL is finding approximately 100 players and 2 dozen club employees for violating league policy of selling Super Bowl tickets above face value, which a league source told Outkick on Friday. So
I'm surprised that they're just getting fined
I know I am too. This was first
because
reported by the AP.
yeah.
Also, I think that's important to
Mhm.
note. You know, now, yeah, I'm surprised too, and I'm also surprised that we're not getting we're we're not getting any sort of names or anything. This is just they're saying it's this. Because it's not the first time
Yeah.
this has happened. There's a couple of stories from the past, like former Minnesota Vikings head coach Mike Tice he admitted to scalping part of his allotment of Super Bowl tickets in 2005. And so and with that kind of wording in this article, I feel like because I mean the Vikings didn't go to the Super Bowl in 2005, right? The Colts and the Saints went to the Super Bowl in 2005, I think. Might have to check me on that. In Miami.
Well,
Um and so then so it's like why are
it was actually the Patriots and the Eagles in
Patriots
2005.
Eagles 2005. Gotcha.
Hmm.
Which even then, it's like, why did the Minnesota Vikings head coach get an allotment of Super Bowl tickets? So that tells me that every single player and coach potentially gets a certain amount of tickets for the Super Bowl if they want to go.
Oh.
They get an opportunity to get an allotment, or
Yeah.
something like that. So anyway, I don't know, man. It's just so strange to me, and also because like Super Bowl tickets were like what about $5,000, per ticket on the market, right?
Those were like the lowest ones on the low end.
Yeah, that was the average. The cheapest
That
ticket
was
was
average.
around
Okay.
2,600,
Okay.
and then close to the sidelines were about 10K, 10 bands.
All right.
And some of the seating were, they were about 50K, So if you had a low end ticket, like for these people, we're talking about like pennies, bro, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, we're talking about them scalping Super Bowl tickets. Like I don't
That's why I
understand why are
said
they
that's
doing
why I
that?
said I'm surprised that it's only a fine because
Yeah,
if we go back to like if we compare punishments, they're scalping Super Bowl tickets for thousands of dollars.
right.
That they're already getting paid from the league. If we compare that to like the Calvin Ridley situation from a couple years ago,
Oh my God, bro, it's not even close.
where he was betting on games.
Yeah,
I think I don't remember what the exact number is, but I think it was like $1,500, right?
it was something so minimal.
It
It
was like
was
really
literally not.
minuscule.
Yeah, it was a really
Yeah,
small
tweeted
amount.
that he bet a total of $1,500. Um, but I mean, technically, it's not betting, but it's a minuscule amount, and so we're having NFL coaches and players get
Mm-hmm.
these tickets for 5,000 and scalp them for probably around double the price. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a $5,000, you know, winning off of that, and it's just like, and I'm not saying that Calvin Ridley shouldn't have been punished for it. He should have been, but I'm saying that there should be
totally.
at least a game or two suspension for the people who are doing this.
Yeah,
This is just completely taking advantage of the system.
yep.
Just the same way that it would be taking advantage of the system when Calvin Ridley bet $1,500 for his team to win.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's very similar. I think the betting's a little bit worse, but I mean, only getting fined for that is weird. You should get a 2 game suspension. I mean, this is an obvious you know bad thing to do if you're a player.
Yeah.
You're taking your privilege when you're already making so much money and you're scalping tickets to just
Yes.
regular fucking.
It is
It's not okay.
it is 100% a violation of the NFL rules too. Like
Yeah.
if they're I get that they're going to get fined and everything, but I hate to tout about a list, bro, but we need a list of names.
Yes, that is true.
Like come on. Let us know who they are.
Roger Goodell says that there's no list. The list doesn't exist actually. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think we need a. I mean, I don't know if we really need a list. I mean, we're gonna know who if they did it my way, which I think they should be suspended at least 1 game.
Yeah, yeah.
My preference would be 2, just because I think it's pretty egregious. I think it's totally unethical and totally like against what the NFL should be standing for, which is, you know, you have to hold yourself of like the highest standard when you're
Mm-hmm.
playing in the NFL, and that is just like actual degen shit. So,
100%.
um,
Yeah.
I think there should be at least a 1 game suspension for this, so we'll know who's suspended. We'll know who did it if we see them at the beginning of the season be suspended. I don't think a list needs to come out. We should just need to pay attention to who's suspended and who's not.
Yep. That's totally fair. Um, the Yeah, that's all I got really on this Super Bowl scalping thing. I just saw that story,
Yeah,
and it's funny enough too because when I was looking at like different things um to kind of report on today, I saw that the first thing that popped up was a Fox News article that had the Super Bowl scalping thing, and I was like, "Really? Fox News cares about people scalping things? That's fucking wild." And they just like copy and pasted the AP's report after I looked
no,
into it a little bit more. And I was like, oh my God, dude, these people are so disingenuous. This is
that's
fucking wild.
amazing. That's
Um,
amazing.
I mean, granted, they may have gotten like permission from the AP to do that, maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
maybe.
I know it
Well,
happens sometimes, but knowing Fox
you
News, I'm
know,
kind of sitting here like,
it's
Rupert Murdoch just told them to go fuck themselves, probably, and that's what happened.
it,
So,
it's kind of poetic that the story about scalping um football players scalping tickets
hmm
was written by Fox wrote an article on it and they scalped the story from the AP completely.
Bro, that's kind of what I'm saying, you know? They're just like
Yeah.
they're reporting on scalping
It's,
while
it's
scalping.
yeah, it's like super ironic.
Also, there just to kind of side note a little bit, you know, I'm in like a group chat for like the my area for like Pokemon restocks and stuff, you know.
Uh-huh.
And there's one person in there who's really informative, you know. They're they're awesome, but they keep on instead of saying scalping, they say scalloping, and I'm like,
Oh shit, they're scalloping potatoes out there?
well, they're either that or they're going fishing for scallops.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, bro, are you on a
That's
boat?
hilarious.
We're like, we're not on boats. We're going. We're like, what is going on? Yeah. Anyway, the weird sidekick there. Sidekick, not a sidekick. That's not what I meant to say.
No, that's fine.
Whatever.
I like that.
Weird sidekick there. Speaking of Super Bowl, we're going to do some way too early Super Bowl odds because I read an article on CBS this morning when I got up very early for no apparent reason except for I'm getting older and I can't sleep anymore apparently. Is there's some dude that was reported on wait, hold I'm just going to pull up the article real fast because
Okay.
um I got to go in my history real quick. I just thought this is like the most ridiculous article that I've seen in a long time. So I said, "Oh yeah, okay. Here we go. This is by a guy named John Breach, which
Wait,
is
can you share your screen on
yeah.
Twitch?
Oh, are you? I'll just share my screen with you on Discord.
Oh,
Cause
okay.
I keep on changing
But
tabs all the time, and I don't want people to just see me switching tabs constantly. So,
okay. What do you got? What do you got on there? What do you got on your tab? I want
uh,
people to see you switching tabs?
I have like the
Uh-huh.
plan for the show, you
Uh-huh.
know.
Uh-huh.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
Okay.
God damn
Sorry.
it. No, I see what you're doing. It's funny,
Uh-huh.
but come on. No,
Okay.
I don't. You know, the show is supposed to be a surprise, you know, and
Uh,
they, you know, and also if you're watching the show, you're gonna be like 10 seconds
I'm sure
behind
there's
when
gonna
I
be a
say it.
surprise. All right.
Anyway, John Breach is the person's name, which there's a picture of him on here, right? And I have no doubt that this is a real person, but John Breach, really? Are we breaching data here, Aaron? Because the breach of data here is that this article is written so you would think that Aaron Rodgers wrote it, right?
Wait, what?
This
All
person
right.
said, you know, oh, he got off with a rough start because he threw
Wait,
an
they
interception
wait,
on
wait,
his
wait,
very
wait. Can I
first
see
pass at
the
training camp,
can I
blah,
see
blah.
the title of it? Aaron Rodgers. Okay, okay, okay. All right,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Aaron Rodgers says
Sorry.
only 10 to 12 teams have a chance to the Super Bowl. Let's identify them, okay?
Okay.
he says some bad things about himself. I'm reading this from Aaron's perspective because we know this is Aaron Rodgers that wrote this, right?
Okay.
The
All right.
Steelers quarterback is feeling confident about the 2025 season, blah blah blah, right? And then he says, as it turns out, Rodgers is feeling so confident about the upcoming season that he views the Steelers as one of just 10 to 12 teams that could potentially win the Super Bowl this year, which is wild.
Okay.
Okay. And it goes on, and he says that there's 10 to 12 teams that surprise you, but I would say on paper, we're probably one of those 10 to 12. We,
Okay.
we know on paper that this team is not going to make that cut. This team sucks on paper, in my opinion. They
Yeah.
sent Minka Fitzpatrick back to Miami, okay, which is crazy. He was one of their best players.
They
Sure,
got who'd they get out of that? Ramsey, right?
yeah, Jalen Ramsey,
All
because
right.
Jalen Ramsey, I swear, Jalen Ramsey gets traded around so often in the NFL. I feel bad for him. Um, anyway, this article goes on, and his list of 10 to 12 teams. Okay, this is so he's going quoting Aaron Rodgers with a lot of stuff in here. Okay, right, which is really interesting that he's doing all these quotes of Aaron Rodgers. Right, this is all Aaron Rodgers based in this first paragraph or first couple paragraphs here. Right, can we agree on that?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is.
So
100%.
so then you go and he's like, "Well, this is my list of teams, right?" So this shouldn't have anything to do with Aaron Rodgers. This is his as a sports writer, a sports journalist. This is his unbiased view of who he thinks is going to make the Super Bowl, okay?
Yeah.
That's fair to assess, right? Especially considering he's using Super Bowl odds via DraftKings, okay?
Uh-huh.
He's got the Ravens, the Bills, the Eagles,
Okay.
the Chiefs, like
Right.
the teams that you would
That's
expect to be
fine.
on there, right?
Lions.
The
I don't even the
49ers,
Commanders are good too.
49ers, okay, maybe we're kind of getting off on a tangent there. Like 49ers, I don't know if they really deserve to be on there,
49ers is a hot ass take.
It's super hot take. The Packers, I think that's a pretty decent shout to like one of those 10 to 12
I
teams that could potentially surprise you that's not on paper like really good, but like they've got some pieces that really fit,
I
right?
also think that's a hot take.
I do too, but
Well, okay.
yeah. And then the Bengals, which like their defense is still in shambles, right? Their
Dude,
offense is going to be
they
healthy, which is going to be fun to watch, but
the defense is only gonna get. I feel like in my brain they're only gonna get worse because
yeah,
they have less money to spend on the defense
I
now
know. And
because of how much money they spent.
the moment they come up against a defense that can stop Jamar Chase and T Higgins and Chase Brown and Joe Burrow and just
Yeah.
everybody, because there are defenses out there in the league, they're gonna lose, right? Can you guess what the last team is on this is?
Oh man. I wonder who. Oh yeah, right. Oh no.
Aaron Rodgers. Why are you writing for NFL Network? Why are you writing for CBS Sports? Why are you putting
God.
yourself? Why are you throwing yourself out there? Like, what are you
It's
doing?
his list. Like he said, let's check out my list of teams, and then he puts the Steelers at
Right.
plus 3,500 after Aaron Rodgers tells him that they could make the. Like, come on, man.
If you had to guess what the first sentence of the next paragraph of this article is, what would you think it is?
Uh, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers are a favorite to win the Super Bowl.
No, it says it's even worse than that, right?
No,
It says,
it can't be worse than that.
"Well, look at that. The Steelers are on my list!" Exclamation point.
Oh no, dude. Come on.
Is this not Aaron Rodgers writing this, Cade?
Give me
Is
a
this not
break.
Aaron Rodgers writing this?
Not only do I think the Steelers are a potential Super Bowl contender, but I think people are actually sleeping on them. This team went 10-7 last season with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson at quarterback, and I think Rodgers is an upgrade at QB over either of those guys. If the four-time MVP stays healthy in Pittsburgh, this is a team that could certainly surprise some people in 2025.
Do you know what Aaron Rodgers
Okay,
is an upgrade in? Years
age.
spent, yeah, years spent in the NFL on top of Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. They don't even add up to what
Oh
he spent in the
shit.
NFL.
Wait. Okay. So hold on.
Hmm.
So we're out here saying last season
Hmm.
when Aaron Rodgers was throwing to every guy he wanted to throw to,
Yep.
plus Garrett Wilson,
Yep.
plus uh the two running backs for the Jets. I'm blanking on their names right now.
Brees Hall
Uh,
and
Brees Hall, yeah, Brees Hall and the other rookie who are both extremely fucking good.
yep.
Okay,
Yep.
and what did they go? 5 wins.
Hmm. Yep.
Listen, I agree that he's gonna have a better season than he did last year on the Jets. The Steelers always go 9-10 wins. That doesn't mean they're gonna make the Super Bowl. That it does. It's not even an indicator because the Steelers have done that like every single freaking year.
Hmm.
For like the past 12 years, and they haven't made the Super Bowl once.
Yep.
And also, Aaron Rodgers, if last season he didn't play good, I don't see it getting better this season in terms of stats because he's throwing the ball to DK,
Hmm.
but other than that, I don't know. He does. I just don't think that this is going to. It's an extremely hot take. I mean, you can clip this for next February, and if the Steelers are in the Super Bowl, I will. I don't know. I'll do some sort of punishment, but this is the hottest take of all time.
Yeah.
There's no way this could work.
I just want to continue the article a little bit here. He continues to say there are 5 teams that did not make his list, so he'll explain why he put the Steelers
Okay.
on and why he left those other 5 teams off. I'm just gonna come out and say it right now: the Seahawks are not even on those 5 teams that he left off, which is crazy to me. He
Yeah, I
has
mean he went over the Seahawks and picked the Steelers, which I wouldn't have
he went
done.
over the
But
Seahawks and picked the Bengals, the Bungles.
yeah, the Bungles.
Anyway, the Vikings. His reasoning is that JJ McCarthy might be good, but he's not Tom Brady. And the last time a team won the Super Bowl with a rookie start in his first start, I guess JJ McCarthy is technically not a rookie, but whatever. Is when Tom Brady led the Patriots to a Lombardi Trophy in 2001. That's a fair assessment. The Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are good, and I do think they'll win the NFC South, but I'm not sure how much I trust Todd Bowles.
Okay.
This doesn't seem like a Todd Bowles issue. I went on to ask Google, does Aaron Rodgers have beef with Todd Bowles? And it said, while there were some lighthearted interactions during joint practices between the Jets and Buccaneers and some comments made about the Jets' pursuit of Rodgers, it doesn't point to any deep-seated animosity. That's okay. Thanks, Google AI, for that. I just don't know. If this doesn't have anything to do with Todd Bowles, in my opinion. Like this team, the Buccaneers team, is way better than the Steelers, way better than the the Bengals. I think even that the Buccaneers are a better team than the 49ers and the Commanders. Honestly, I'm not lying. When they're healthy, this team is crazy good. And we're only going to see an improvement from Bucky Irving this year. We're only going to see an improvement from Chris Godwin, and we still have Mike Evans on this team, and we've got Jalen McMillan. Like this team is going to be fire.
Yeah.
Kate Otten. Oh my God, dude! There's so many freaking good weapons on this team that
Baker,
yeah,
fucking yeah.
it's going to be insane. Um, he goes
And
on.
they also have
Oh
a
yeah.
really great for the Bucks, they also have you said Bucky, but they also have their backup running back, not Rashad White, but the other guy there. I think he's really, really good too. He's a really great backup running back. So even if Bucky gets hurt or something,
Mm-hmm.
um
They've still got options.
yeah, what's his name's Sean Tucker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's extremely good.
I agree. I think that Buccaneers team is so good. And then he goes on with the Chargers, and he saw the last time we saw Justin Herbert on the field in the playoffs, he was throwing 4 interceptions in a loss to the Texans. Blah blah blah. Whatever. 0-2 in the playoffs. The Chargers are gonna Chargers. It's fine. The Broncos, Bo Nix, Sean Payton, blah blah blah. Whatever. And then the Texans. I think the Texans are huge, huge, huge. Like if this is DraftKings odds right now,
Yeah.
Go and put $1 on the Texans winning the Super Bowl and go win $3,500.
The thing with the Texans
Like,
is
why not?
I do think I actually do think they had a pretty good chance at beating the Chiefs if they had Tank Dell in the playoff
Yep, totally.
game.
And not
They
yeah,
just fell short because they just didn't have
and Stephon Diggs if they
the
had him too.
personnel. Yeah, it was like this combination with the Texans at the end of the season where it was like they lost Tank and it was like a big morale uh shot to the morale
Hmm.
for the team. And then at the same time, at the beginning of the season, you had Joe Mixon playing the best football he's ever played in his life.
Yeah,
And then toward the end of the season, he just fell off, and I don't know why. It was like
right.
the combination of those two things like really killed their team. But I really do think if Tank Dell stayed healthy, that Chiefs game that would have been a grind.
Right. Yeah, it would have been yeah, it absolutely would have been grind for sure. They would have given the Chiefs secondary a much bigger issue
Oh yeah,
than what they did because they only had Nico Collins really. That's really it.
yeah. I
Um,
mean the Chiefs' plan that whole game was just stack the box, just
yeah,
don't let Joe Mixon run the ball.
and it worked.
Yeah.
Um, he goes on in the last paragraph to conclude, which is, I think, probably the greatest conclusion that I've ever read in a sports article, especially when they're written by Aaron Rodgers. It says, there could always be a surprise team, but overall, I actually agree with Rodgers. There are 10 to 12 teams who could win the Super Bowl this year, and the Steelers are one of them. Bravo. Bravo. Great read. Great conclusion. A professional journalist for sure wrote that. And if this is a real person, I apologize to you, John Breach, but like you got to get better at writing, brother. Like I'm not even a professional like journalist and I have written better articles than this with more facts in it than what you did. I mean, there's just so much conjecture and there's so much like what I call Ron DeSanctimonianism in there of like I know a lady and her name is, where it's like you're just using your own personal like life experience to kind of give you information that's not based in fact, and I don't really
I,
like that very much.
I think my biggest problem with this article is that like I wish if John Breach would have came out with an article that had his top 10 before
Right.
and then he talked to Aaron Rodgers
Hmm.
and then Aaron Rodgers agreed with him. I think that would have been fine, but to have your conversation with Aaron Rodgers and then to put Pittsburgh in your top 10 when it's an extremely hot take just seems like you were uh what do you say? Maybe influenced
Yep.
a little bit.
Yep.
But I mean it's not like that big of a deal. It's just a top 10 article. It was just a funny read to be honest because
Yeah.
it does sound like Aaron Rodgers just wrote this article, which is
It,
really
it
funny.
it really does, and like when I read his bio here on CBS Sports, John Breach has been at CBS Sports since July of 2011, and currently spends most of his time writing about the NFL. He is believed to be one of only 3 people in the world who thinks that Andy Dalton will win a playoff game someday. The Ohio native now lives in San Diego because the beaches are nicer. To get your weekly fill of John, make sure to follow him on Twitter. First of all, I feel like this is just a troll, like sports writer, you know.
He's just a rage baiter, maybe.
Maybe because like this his other article that he came out with yesterday says,
Oh, look at that one. Look at the
y-
top one.
I mean, yeah. And then not my problem anymore. Baker Mayfield doesn't seem very interested in talking about the Browns. Aaron Rodgers says only 10 to 12. Yeah, blah 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 blah. We know. It just seems like rage bait and or clickbait even. Joe Burrow says that this one
Oh wow.
doctors hate me for what this one trick.
It's a, let's not get into this. We won't fucking.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right.
We have to respect his game, but at the same
I totally
time,
do. It's just funny, you know.
at the same time, um, we're gonna be total hypocrites and talk about our Super Bowl top 10, and I definitely have a hot take in here as well. So,
Yes.
I don't
Um.
want to be too hard on John Breach
Yep.
because he's gonna pick a hot take. I also have an extremely hot take. So, let's get into yours first.
Okay. So mine are gonna look pretty similar for the first four, as I think everyone's should. Okay. because I think it's the safest bets. And I mean, it's just it. It's just we got Ravens, Bills, Eagles, Chiefs, right? Same first four as John Breach. So John Breach, like you're absolutely correct about this. Um, Lions. This is where it gets switch up though, right? I've got the Buccaneers because of the reasons that we said, right?
Yeah.
I've got the Seahawks.
Mhm.
I've got the Broncos,
Yeah, the Broncos is pretty hot.
the Texans,
That's less hot to me.
and the Commies.
Yeah, the commies. I still like the commies as long as they sign Terry. I'm kind of in on that.
I know, right? I'm still amazed that this guy had the Rams on there. Like that team is a bunch of bums, man.
I also have the Rams on there, but I
You
don't.
have the Rams on there.
I
Okay.
do have the Rams, and not it's not in any particular order. I mean,
Mhm.
if I was to actually be honest about this, it would be like this, and the Rams are at the bottom.
Okay. Yeah,
But
yeah.
but I don't think the Rams are my hot take. The Rams always seem to have a chance. I don't really know why.
Mhm.
But they're like always, and this is like again kind of hypocritical to the Steelers, but the Rams are more of like a recent uh phenomenon of just making the playoffs like almost every year, and they have a Super Bowl win in the last like what 4 years. They won in 2021.
Yes.
So, but the Rams they just keep making the playoffs, and then they keep like really fighting. And I think
I
I
don't.
like their team because of their. I think they use their wide receivers really smart, and also I really like Kyron Williams as a running back, and I think Matthew Stafford is um he plays he's like one of like the old school quarterbacks that plays like very safe, very like 200 yards,
Mhm.
1 to 2 touchdowns, 0 to
Maybe a
1
both.
interceptions. Like
Yeah.
it's extremely safe quarterback play that I really like.
I do too. I'm questioning Matthew Stafford's ability to stay healthy this season
Right. That's
because I
definitely
mean, he's
big.
never stayed healthy in a season. He's always
Hmm.
just grinded the season out playing injured with a dislocated rib, a a finger that is literally like the most fucked up finger you've ever seen on his throwing hand, and he's still throwing dots. But
Yeah.
the dude's 41, Like he can't do this forever.
No, he
And
can't.
their franchise wide receiver went to their arch rival, aka my
Yeah.
Seattle Seahawks. Let's go, Cooper Cup. He's back in Washington, baby. Let's go. But like, yeah, sure. They've got Puka Nakua and they've got Devonte Adams, and I think Devonte Adams
They
is
have
gonna have a
yep.
fucking great season.
But
He's led the NFL for the past 6 years, I think, in red zone targets alone.
mhm.
And if you have Matthew Stafford targeting him in the red zone the whole season, like it's gonna be a good year. But if they've got to go to their backup, Jimmy Garoppolo, I think is their backup, right? I'm almost certain Jimmy Garoppolo is their backup.
It's
And
Jimmy and the guy that played in Georgia, right?
God, I played Georgia. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. But regardless, like I just don't think that team is gonna stand to time. It's not gonna
Could
stand
be.
the test of the season.
Could be. And we'll have
Um,
to see how they play because I know they're probably gonna have a lot of changes on their defense this year.
yeah, definitely.
But
Yes. Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, I know Aaron Donald's out and he's
Hmm.
been out, but they have Jared Verse who is very good. He's very compare. I think by the end of his tenure, he's gonna have close stats to Aaron Donald too. So
Yeah.
they have potential. Um, so here's kind of like my top 10. The Rams are a 10.
Hmm.
9 is the Falcons. I think
I
their
like that.
time has to be sometime. They have very good talent. Pretty much everywhere. They have to work on defense, and they also have to. One thing that the Falcons need to work on is just scoring touchdowns. Like they just really need to score touchdowns when they're in the red zone.
I think
Um,
you're right about that for sure. I heard two stats this morning about the Falcons that I think bolsters your opinion about them being in this top 10 Super Bowl odds. Um, for the last 4 games of the season, Michael Penix and Bijan Robinson, right?
Yeah.
Michael Penix passing yards. If it follows the trend this season that it did in the last 4 games of the season last year, he will throw for over 2,000 yards passing
Yeah.
over a season, which is crazy for a second-year quarterback. If Bijan Robinson runs for the same amount of that he did in the last 4 games of the season last year, he will rush for over 1,500 yards in a season, which is also crazy,
And
right? And
let's
there's got to be touchdowns that come along with that. And there's no Tyler Algier in this conversation. In my opinion, it's just Bijan. So
we also have to factor in that Drake London had a super huge year
yeah, dude.
last year, and
Yeah.
like it was finally the year where it was like, because we all knew the potential of Drake London for the past two, and then this third year was like, okay, like
It's
this
happening.
dude is like the real fucking deal.
Yeah.
Um, so I think he's just gonna also get better,
I do too. I'm with you.
especially with Michael Penix going in. Then I got the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions are pretty safe.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
As long as like their core stays healthy, they're extremely hard to beat. So
And I mean, even if the one part of their core, aka David Montgomery, gets hurt, like they're still going to be fine, as we saw from last season.
yeah, like their core to me is like
Amon-Ra St. Brown,
yeah, St. Brown,
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Sonic and Knuckles,
Yep.
Jameson Williams,
Yep.
and um Jared Goof.
I think.
So as long as they stay uh good,
Yeah.
um and you only have like the other thing is with the Lions too, you have to have Jared Goff in the playoffs. You cannot have a Jared Goof game. Like if you have one Jared Goof game, it's over. It's so over.
It's very
And
true.
you have to have Jared Goff play because Jared Goff is actually very good,
Mm-hmm.
but Jared Goof is fucking horrible,
Jared
and
Goff
it's
is the
hard to
worst
watch.
quarterback in the league, and like
And
by a
yeah,
long shot too.
it's not close. It's
Mm-mm.
not close. But the thing is, Jared Goff is very good
Yeah.
and can win a Super Bowl. He just like he always has, those like 2 or 3 games in a season that you're just looking at, you're just like, how is this happening? And those games cannot come in the playoffs. So we'll see how that goes.
I will say Geno Smith did outgoof Jared Goof when they played last season.
Mm.
Actually, no, that's not even true. CJ Stroud outgoofed Jared Goof last season when they played.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
Because
it's
his Jared
very
Goof game was
rare
against
when
the
that
Texans and he
happens.
threw 5 interceptions, right?
Yeah, and CJ threw 3. The
Yeah.
defense scored on all 3 of them.
Um and then my next team is the Commanders. I think
Yeah, dude.
as long as they do, I mean they made the NFC Championship last year. They beat the Lions to get there. It was a very good game for
Yeah.
them, and I think they really need to sign Terry McLaurin. I think with Terry McLaurin, I think their team gets better. And then if they sign Terry McLaurin, they just need to work on defense. So then I got the Chiefs. The Chiefs, you have to pick them. You know me, I'm the biggest Chiefs fan there is.
That's very
I
true.
I think this year is going to be an off year for them. I don't see them. I mean, you have to pick them to go to the Super Bowl, but I think this year is an unlikely year.
That they'll go to the Super
Compared
Bowl.
to others. Like, yeah, because every other year you would put the Chiefs at the top of the list. I think for them dropping down to 5 just shows that people are definitely a little bit uneasy, not just the pundits, like me as well. Like, I'm a little bit uneasy on the Chiefs this year as well.
I kind of disagree with you, honestly. Like, I feel like the Chiefs are the strongest that they've been in a long time. They're gonna have a full season of Hollywood Brown. They're gonna have let's see, they've got Rashee Rice on a 4-game suspension, so pretty much
Hmm.
all season for him too, right?
Yeah.
Is it 4 game? Is that what it is?
Um, I can.
I don't know, man. I think Isaiah Pacheco is gonna be healthy and should stay healthy.
So this is why we're a little bit uneasy. It's a potential suspension.
It's a potential suspension, even though,
Yeah.
but they did the court case, right? So the NFLPA should have a suspension in hand for him, right?
Well,
Like the court proceedings
yeah,
happened, right? Or am I wrong about that?
It says he's likely to get a 4-6 game suspension one
Okay.
day ago,
Okay. Hmm.
and he has to spend 30 days in jail, I think. So,
No, I mean, yeah,
but this is why we're a little bit uneasy because we thought that Pacheco was going to come back, and he didn't really
yeah,
come back
no.
very strong,
Mm-mm.
which makes sense. I mean, he broke his leg, but I don't know how that injury like really affects him. And then also we have the Rashid Rice suspension. I think the biggest mistake that the Chiefs have made in terms of wanting to win Super Bowls is um getting, but not last season, but the season before, when we got rid of our lockdown corner
Mm-hmm.
on the other side.
Yeah.
Um I think that was a big miss for us because our secondary was so good just at the cornerback position that all we had to do was play man, and then when we try to play man again,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't work as well anymore because we don't have that lockdown corner on the other side. So yeah, I'm just a little bit uneasy on like how the defense is going to bounce back and how some of the players are going to bounce back.
Okay. I will say I do like that the Chiefs have Gardner Minshew on their team right now. That's cool.
Yeah, that's actually big.
Yeah.
Next team
Wait,
is
hold on.
above the
Did
Chiefs.
the Chiefs re-sign Kareem Hunt too?
Yeah, I think so.
That's so sick. I
We
love
have
that for
Kareem
him.
Hunt as I have Pacheco.
I
Um,
honestly I love that so much.
the next team I got is the Buccaneers. I think they're really good right now. Um,
Yeah,
I think next season they're only going to get better. Then I have the Ravens at 3 because the Ravens are heavy chokers in the playoffs. So I have them a little bit lower on my list than a lot of other people probably do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the Bills. Because like unlike the Ravens, I feel like Josh Allen he's like extremely clutch in playoff games, unless it's against the Chiefs. So
Yeah.
if he can skirt past the Chiefs in the playoffs somehow, I think they're gonna make it. And then I have the Eagles at 1 because the Eagles have the best team on paper in the league. And I don't even think it's close.
So with what you said about the Chiefs, then do you think this is the Bills' season to like this? It's theirs to lose at this point, right?
Yeah, I think it's the Bills season too. I think it's the Bills and the Ravens. I think
Like
those two are the top of the
they're in the
AFC,
driver's seat
and
for sure.
they're both in the driver's seat. And whoever, I think it'll come down to them in the AFC Championship this year, and whoever wins, uh, it- it's gonna be the best, obviously.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay, cool.
I don't know if I have 10. So next thing we want to do is doing some fantasy sleepers.
Yes,
I don't think I
fantasy
have
sleepers.
10, but I have 3 for
Okay,
sure.
yeah, I've got a couple for sure
How
too.
about you start? I've been
Okay,
talking.
well, we're doing the first. It doesn't matter how many we do. We could just do some of them. So, my first sleeper for the season, uh, it has to be. It's got to be K9. I think.
That's gonna be your sleeper.
I mean, yeah, dude. People have
Okay.
him. People have him falling into the fourth or the fifth round this season right now.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay.
Like,
I got some deep ass cuts.
oh,
So
you
so this
do?
is good.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so Kenneth Walker, right? I mean, their new offensive coordinator and everything. He loves him.
Hmm.
As one person that I was watching put it today, offensive coordinator is writing him down in his notebook like a girl in like middle school with a crush on a boy. Keeps on writing his name in the notebook.
Okay.
I like that reference. I thought that was kind of funny. But like, I think there's going to be a lot of design. Like the Seahawks are going to go back to their core and be like, okay, we are a run first team. We run, and we set up the pass. And when we set up the pass, we succeed because everyone is so scared of K9, right? Um,
Okay.
I
Okay.
think that is probably my top sleeper right now. That is one of my top running back 2, running back 3 targets right now. I would say if So I'm just gonna connect that RB3. Uh, my next is also going to be a running back. My RB2 that I'm targeting this season, right? And I know we're in 2 fantasy leagues together, so like, please don't take my ideas. I know, I know.
We're good.
I mean, to be honest, like we're in a 14-man league, which is gonna be kind of fucked.
Yeah, it's
you
gonna
know,
be extremely
so
fucked.
there
I
there
was surprised that they voted on that.
I am too. I'm excited for it, but that might be a one and done for me because that might be a tough one to be, to unless I signed a 3-year deal. I don't know what's
You
going on.
signed a deal low key.
Okay, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. Um, my next sleeper that people, they go into the fantasy league, into a fantasy draft, and they say, okay, what am I gonna do? And then they have like the little music that goes into their dreams, and they're like, well, obviously I'm gonna have Jameer Gibbs, and I'm gonna have Bijan Robinson as my running back too. You know, these things just don't happen, right? You should be targeting realistically, and my realistic sleeper, I think a sleeper running back too, someone that you can draft a little higher and get a lot of upside out of, is my guy, Bucky Irving. Okay. I think Bucky Irving is low key a sleeper because I think he can. People might be thinking like, oh, he's going to go in the 4th or the 5th round. I think he could go in the 2nd or the 3rd round, honestly, as a running back too, and he would be a safe bet there. Um,
I think beginning of the 3rd is very safe for Bucky.
yeah, I mean,
If he's not on your radar, before the 5th round, I don't know where your league's head is at.
yeah, I'm with you,
All right.
100%. Go ahead and give me one of yours.
Okay, so mine are definitely way deeper cuts. We have K9. As you said, dropping the people have him dropping to like the 4th or the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Bucky people have him in the 4th and the 5th as well. I mean, to me, he's definitely heavier than that. My picks are more when you have your team solidified. People that you want to have on your bench as maybe some trade fodder. So my first deep cut wide receiver is Jalen Coker for the Carolina Panthers. I'm a big Coke head. I think Jalen Coker is extremely talented. He had a really good end to the season last year.
Yeah.
He is. I think Jalen Coker is really good. I think he'll definitely, he has some competition, but I think he can easily beat them. And he was really, really, and honestly, to me, this isn't even like a 10th round. This is like a 14th round. Like if you need somebody like at the very tail end of your draft, I think he's one guy that you can kind of bet on here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm big cokehead. I think he'll probably be splitting time for the first half of the season. But I think he'll stick in. I think how it's gonna kind of look is you're gonna have Adam Thielen in on 50% of the snaps, and you're gonna have Jalen Coker in on the other 50%. So they're gonna probably split time because I think Adam. I don't know if Adam Thielen's gonna be working heavily this year.
Right.
My second is Cedric Tillman for the Browns. This is where we're getting into like 9th to 10th round.
Mm-hmm.
Cedric Tillman with when you had Jameis Winston in at quarterback was, I mean, him and Jerry Jeudy were eating heavily.
Yeah.
Like it was amazing to see. Cedric Tillman to me is an extremely good like second flex option. Straight out the gate, really. You could kind of sit on him just to see like how the Browns quarterbacks like handle. Honestly, just how the Browns team handles the quarterback position, because I think Cedric Tillman's productivity is really based off of that, off of just because Jameis Winston was more of a straight shooter and he didn't really give a fuck about anything. Like, he just prayed to God every time he threw the ball, and that didn't really work out a lot of the time, but it worked out some of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can pretty much start him in like a second flex position straight out the jump of the season.
Okay.
I think he's extremely talented. I think he's one of the better wide receiver twos in the league for the Browns. So,
I like it.
and then let's see. So this one might be like extremely hot, but my third sleeper is another wide receiver. I'm kind of like doing a lot of wide receivers right now, but it's actually Tyler Lockett. He's going to be playing for
Yeah, the
the Tennessee
Titans.
Titans this
Mm-hmm.
year. He just straight up gets into that number 2 spot, and we saw Westbrook Akine really thrive in that like touchdown, like red zone area. And I think Tyler Lockett's an overall better receiver than Nick Westbrook Akine, and
I
so I
was
think
gonna
he'll have
say
just more output
every time I hear
there.
that name, it pisses me off.
Yeah, that I mean his season last year, Nick Westbrook Akine's season last year was so like
Yeah, don't
ridiculous.
don't get me wrong. Like, super happy for the dude having a breakout season,
Oh, dude, yeah.
but like,
I just couldn't stand the fantasy talk around him. Like he was like the next Messiah or something. It was like, bro, he has 20 catches and 8 of them are touchdowns. This is
yeah,
an anomaly. We're
yeah,
not starting him.
no,
Even in games where he was scoring touchdowns, he would have a games where it would be like, oh, he has 2 touchdowns and he had 14 points. I'm like, dude, this is not good.
yeah,
Like 2 touchdowns and 14 points, like he's so dependent.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I have kind of a weird, maybe like literally last round slash like waiver wire pickup
Hmm.
after the draft that could be beneficial if you have somebody on there that you're not liking, or maybe you have a taxi squad, maybe you have a taxi sort of like system or something like that. Um, the New York Giants number 2 receiver, Jalen Hyatt. Um,
Okay.
he didn't have a great season last year. Okay, he had 8 receptions out of 19 targets for 62 yards, no touchdowns or anything. Right. This kid is really good. Okay, he's a really good player. He's 23 years old. He's 6 foot, 185 pounds. Got a big vert. Played really well for Tennessee when he went to college. Um, y- it last season was just not really great for him. I mean, it could very well be that you're going to be looking at like Wan'Dale Robinson more as like a number 2 receiver, considering his 93 targets and 140 or sorry,
Plenty of time for Kentucky if they want.
140 targets and 93 receptions is what I was looking for, right? So maybe Wan'Dale is more of the person that you're looking for. So I'll write a slash in here.
Yeah, that's a tough pick between those two.
But I mean, a number 2 receiver for like the Giants or like the Jets or something like that, could be a really good sleeper to pick up if you're desperate in some measure, or even God forbid Malik Neighbors goes down again and you're gonna have to rely on Wan'Dale Robinson. I did last year, and I made it to the championship in one of my leagues that I did that in. So then I think I made it to no, did I make it to we played in the championship, didn't we? And you won? Didn't that
I
happen?
played in the championship against the fraud in our league last
Oh,
year,
that's right. Yeah, you're right.
and I fucking whipped his ass
That's right.
because he was a fraud.
Yep. That's right. I remember now. Anyway, that is my next one. I have one more here that I want to give out.
I'll end it on one because I actually have to ask you a question. So I'll end it
Oh,
on my last guy.
well, my next target is well, 8 isn't the last one. I think we could do 10. Honestly, I think we could pick 2 more players out of our asses to pick. But also, I just heard Luna bark. um, my next target here is gonna be one of those guys that has kind of he's got a lower floor, maybe higher ceiling, but his low floor is like something to be really comfortable with as like a flex or as a number 2 in a really deep league, or God forbid a number 1. But I'm looking at Tony Pollard.
Okay, I like it. I like where this is going.
as a sleeper as a running back here. You
Is he
know,
still in Tennessee?
he's still in Tennessee.
Okay.
We're probably going to see more running, especially early in the season. So this is one of those. This if for me, like if I were to draft Tony Pollard, which would be really unlikely to because I hate having Cowboys slash ex Cowboys on my team. But if I were going to get Tony Pollard, I would definitely start him early in the season because Cam Ward's probably going to be handing the ball off more than he's passing it. And as he gets more comfortable, you're going to see Tony Pollard kind of drop off. I'm telling you, you're gonna get like a solid 20 points a game out of Tony Pollard for the first like 3 to 5 weeks. Dump him, dump him, get some good value out of him in your fantasy league, and just use him as bait. Literally
Yeah.
just like those 20-point games, like just advertise it super heavily in your sleeper chat or whatever, and then trade him because there's no way he's not gonna keep all of that up, and he's probably going to go in the 6th or 7th round, right? So,
Once
and there's
once
going to be teams out there that are going to be drafting super heavy wide receivers, and then they're going to have nothing at running back, and they're going to want your Tony Pollard. Okay, mark my words, this is something you should watch out for sure.
some like to your point, once Cam Ward gets more comfortable throwing the ball, they're gonna have Tajay Spears take a good chunk of the snaps out of that.
Oh yeah,
You're probably gonna see like at the beginning of the season, you're probably gonna see like an 80-20 split, and I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the season if you're seeing more like a 65-35 or a 60-40
mm-hmm. I'm
split
with
between
you,
those two.
100%.
So I think that's a good plan. Is like after 3 to 4 weeks, you can probably just dump them for a really high value target, maybe like a Garrett Wilson. Um, so here's the last guy I want to talk about, and it's just because I have a question on him because I have a trade in my dynasty league. My next one is Keon Coleman. He's probably going to go around 6 to 7 round. I'm not really sure. I haven't done a mock draft yet, but just based off of a 14-man league, maybe he would go in like the 6th or the 5th in the 14-man. But I really like Keon. I think this is a good season for him to like just expand on what he's doing. There's not really another target in Buffalo.
Nope. Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
I mean, look, Keon Coleman's 6'4", 215.
Mm-hmm.
He's a massive target. He's somebody, and we've seen that he can catch the ball like really well.
And he can run
So
too. I mean, he's
yeah,
not
so
slow.
I mean, he's fighting Khalil Shakir and Josh Palmer
Oh, I
for
forgot Josh Palmer went to the
snaps,
Bills, huh? That's right.
and also Elijah Moore's there too. So it's getting a little bit more crowded over there.
Wait, Elijah Moore
But
got picked up by the Bills?
yes,
Oh, damn. That
and
was like
so
one of my
so
big like a team should sign him like automatically. That's crazy.
the thing is, the Bills are kind of crowded right now. Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel,
Mm-hmm.
Laviska Shenault, which I mean I'm not like big on him. Then they got Keon Coleman at wide receiver 2, and then Joshua Palmer and Elijah Moore at wide receiver 3. Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox still there at tight end. It's getting a little crowded. I mean, I'm not saying I think Keon by the end of the season will be their number one target. So all that stuff to say, I got Matthew to agree to Keon Coleman for Stephon Diggs in a second round, and then or Keon Coleman and I trade him a 2027 third. He gives me Stephon Diggs and a 2026 second.
Wait, so you're
Am I
trading
taking
you're
that?
trading away Keon Coleman?
Yes, and a 2027 third rounder for Stephon
Stephon
Diggs
Diggs.
and a 2026 second round pick.
Oh man. Well, first of all,
So
we're
mind
putting
you,
Keon
when
Coleman on
Keon
there for our sleeper here, right?
let me just say I picked Keon in the 2.01 spot in 2024. So I would be getting that second pick back because I will be the 202 or the 201 with the pick that he's giving me.
Okay.
And I get Stephon Diggs,
So
which
you're
again,
yeah,
Stephon Diggs could easily be on this list because he's getting thrown by Drake May,
right.
coming off an ACL.
going to be the number one target for sure.
I mean, he has to be the number one target here. I
For
mean, there's nobody even close.
are you in a win now situation in your dynasty league? Do
I
you think?
am. Yes, I almost
Then
won last year, and it's because I couldn't get a. The only reason why I lost is because I couldn't get a deal done for Jonathan Taylor for Bucky Irving.
then I
That
think
that was that was my biggest thing.
no doubt in my mind you're taking this deal. You're getting your trade. You're getting your trade value back, right? Or you're getting your
I gained my value
you're
back.
getting your draft stock back. So
Yeah,
there's really nothing to worry about there. You're gonna get a player of, I mean, because like you said, the Bills are super crowded. You don't know what's gonna happen during this offseason. And
yeah, I know Stephon Diggs
right now, you
number
know
one.
Stephon Diggs is going to be the number one wide receiver, and you know Drake May is kind of that guy. He's kind of that guy when it comes to throwing to his wide receivers, right? We saw that
Hmm.
last year. He's kind of bad. Not, I mean bad in a good way, you know.
The other thing about Keon playing on the Bills, I think playing on the Bills is great.
Uh huh.
Even for fantasy, I think it's really good. But the only thing that like worries me on the Bills is red zone. It's Josh Allen territory. It's
Yeah.
hard to like get touchdowns, especially when you have Khalil Shakir who gets a lot of red zone targets because he's really shifty. He has
Right.
a lot of like return routes that he can like create a ton of separation and get open. I think I don't. I mean, I think Keon Coleman's going to get opportunities,
I
but
mean,
a lot of those opportunities are going to be Josh Allen fucking scrambling and running and scoring a touchdown by himself.
you never know though. Maybe we'll get a situation this year. Excuse me. Ugh. Maybe we'll get a situation this year where Josh Allen will be throwing like. Remember how Randy Moss used to just jump up for the ball in
Yeah,
the red zone, like one
I
1 yard
know,
fades? Like Keon
dude.
Coleman can do that. You know, it's not
And we
like
saw
he.
it. We saw that last year with that
Yeah.
one-handed catch that he snagged. I think it was like in the snow too.
Yeah.
And we had a fucking guy draped on him. Like I don't know.
Yep.
He has potential for
He
sure,
definitely
but
does. I think though that
getting my pick back
yeah, getting
is
your
kind
pick
of
back
crazy.
is,
Plus Stephon Diggs, which is going to be the number one target for Drake May.
and you could sit and you know, in one of your other leagues you could just go pick up Keon Coleman and be like, I still have him, you know, and just like kind of
Fair
coast a little
enough.
bit.
But the other thing is too, like I have like if I really want to bite my shit, like
Yeah.
I have Cedric Tillman that I can just put right in. And I'm saying I already said I think Cedric Tillman is going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
So
I think you should do that trade.
I think I should too.
I think, to be honest with you, I think Matthew might be getting fleeced a little bit,
I think
which is not bad for you.
he did not want to give me the second round, but I said I told him I would not make the deal if I was getting a third round pick out of it. I would only do it if I was getting a second round.
Nice. Hell yeah. Yeah.
So
Do
I
it.
mean he's agreed to it. So
Yep.
all right. What else you got?
Um, my next sleeper pick here, and you know, this is one of those that's gonna be a little bit strange, maybe because like I, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at people taking him in the sixth round. Okay, that's like the most popular spot for him to go. But right now, if you're seeing David Montgomery go in the sixth round, if I'm even sitting here, I'm like, if you're at the end of or middle or end of the fifth round and you're in need of like a running back three, you're taking David Montgomery. I think that is a big like mid round sleeper right now. Um,
think
and I
I
mean
think
that touchdown total, dude, like that red zone touches. If he gets those like he did last year before he got injured, that's like,
one of the things in redraft that I think is really slept on,
mm-hmm,
because it just never happens. Yeah, there's never an opportunity for it to happen. I don't think there's ever been an opportunity. Uh, I think I think the Lions are one of those situations where you can take Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery and start them both,
yep,
and you'll be fine. And
yep,
I think you'll be more than fine. I think that's actually really smart
I do
to
too.
do, and
I'm with
I
you.
think I might do it. Try to do it this year
I'm with you 100%.
because
Yeah.
it's actually super good.
Mm-hmm.
And if one of them goes down, it's not that big of a deal. You have the other.
Exactly.
So I think it's a good. I think that's what a lot of people should be trying to do with their first round picks. If you're getting Jahmyr Gibbs, just I mean, even in the fourth round, I might take David Montgomery because you have the handcuff and you also have a RB2 or 3 that is just like fine. Like you can just slot him in and you're gonna be fine.
Yep, I'm with you. And then I think. Do you want to do the last one, or I have I can do the last one, whatever you want.
You can do the last one.
The last one here, we talked about him a little bit earlier. He is technically, when everyone is not injured, a wide receiver 3, but considering the health of his wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 1 last season, he could be a good stash to keep there, and he has the wide receiver 3 position locked down too. Um, and this is again, this is a late round pick. I don't think that this if he's gone in like the 7th round, you shouldn't be taking this player until like last round. I'm this is what I'm saying, you know. Jalen McMillan. Because he still has Mike Evans in front of him. He still has got Chris Godwin, you know, but and if either of them go down, just like last year when Chris Godwin went down, Jalen McMillan was the guy to step up, and he stepped up in a big way. I think Jalen McMillan is a huge late round sleeper right now. What are your thoughts on
Okay.
that?
No, I think Jalen McMillan is really good, and he's playing on the Bucks.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of the Bucks. So I'm all right with that. I think he played really well when Godwin went down as well. So I think he'll be a part of the offense. It's hard to say how much of a part of it he'll be, but I think stashing him on the bench in case because Chris Godwin could go down again this year. We don't know how like serious that injury. I mean, we know that the injury is serious, but we don't know how good his recovery has been. So I think it's really safe to stash him.
We also know that even if Chris Godwin is healthy, like we don't know Mike Evans' hamstring situation.
Yeah.
Still could
Yeah.
it could reappear. You know, we just don't know. And what we do know is Jalen McMillan is going to be healthy the whole season. He was healthy all season last year. He took a beating, and he's young.
Yeah. And Baker doesn't have any problem throwing him the ball either. Like we saw that last year when Godwin went out. Like he just slotted right in, and Baker was just feeding him the ball. So
yeah. I do think before we move on to the fun part of the show, in my opinion, I think we would be doing a disservice doing all these underdogs without throwing in a quarterback in there. I'm not gonna put it on the list just because I think quarterbacks are kind of weird in the sense that like you really don't have a sleeper quarterback. You know, if your quarterback isn't getting you 17 points a game, and you probably just don't know ball, and that's okay. But just because I don't see him going in early rounds again, like, you know, I still see people taking Patrick Mahomes in mocks in the 2nd round, and I'm like, bro, what are we doing? Come on.
Yeah, that's insane.
You know, but if you're looking for a quarterback in like the 7th or 8th round, Baker Mayfield is there. I'm taking him 100% every day of the week. Do it. 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 Just fucking do it.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Let's go to the fun part of the show, shall we?
Okay.
This is why
Well,
the show is called What's Left. Cuz we're leftists and we got to talk about some shit. Especially sports fans, cuz sports fans don't like to pay attention to the shit at all.
Let's talk about Trump, like changing. He wants to change the Commanders back to the Redskins. I wouldn't be surprised if. I mean, this is obviously just a distraction because he wants to take as much attention off the Epstein files as possible. But I wouldn't be surprised if this like Epstein stuff keeps pursuing. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually tries to change the name by executive order because he's an idiot. I think that would be extremely hilarious if he tries to do that, but
Yeah.
I
Ooh.
think this is just ridiculous. Like he has no. I'm the. It's just a fucking football team. Like Jesus Christ. Like it doesn't matter what their name is really.
Agreed. Yeah, it just makes no sense. I'm like, it, he also said that he wants to take control of Washington D.C. And then if the Commanders don't change their name back, he's going to deny any further bids for a new stadium for them to build, which is just a disservice to every single Washington football team Commanders affiliated fan, because we've seen FedEx Field and what state it's in. That stadium is in shambles. I mean, remember 2 years ago when they were piss poor, no pun intended for what I'm about to say, and there was like a section of loyals in the they were like on the first level, pretty close to the field, and one of the shit pipes exploded and it was leaking shit over everybody in that whole section. Do you remember that? During a game?
Yeah. Yes.
Like, they need a new stadium bad. And I mean, it like you said, it's obviously distraction, obviously obfuscating any truth of what is to be from the Epstein files, and he's just trying to get people to talk about literally anything else, to the point of this, to something that obviously doesn't matter to him. Like, it's not it literally doesn't matter, and he's just so obsessed with it. He's so obsessed with literally anything other than the Epstein files, and I find it hilarious, honestly. Also, thank you, Christian. We think so too.
All right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, obviously, this is just so stupid, bro.
I think
I hate this.
right now in American politics at the moment, anything, oh, excuse me, anything that's being talked about is just a distraction from the Epstein files, because that's literally the only thing that matters. The Epstein
Yeah.
files and what's happening in Gaza, because what is happening in Gaza is a fucking atrocity. I mean,
Hmm.
we're at level 5 warning right now for famine, right?
Yeah.
You look at pictures of the Holocaust, and then you look at pictures of what's happening in Gaza. It's 5K streamed genocide that's happening right now, and you sit there and you're like, oh, so it's the same thing. But then you'll just have the deniers out there, and they're like, no, 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 it's not the same thing. Don't you see what they're doing? They're um well, they're killing people. It's like, dude, what? What?
Official numbers of the death toll in Gaza is around 50,000, but we know that Trump a couple months ago came out and said that they needed they're talking about ethnic cleansing. They said that they needed to take care of or remove 1.7 million Gazans. We know up at the beginning of October 7th there was 2.2, 2.3 million. So where are all the other 500,000? I think you can guess.
Yep.
So I think it is just a distraction. I mean, that puts us right into this story of Trump pulling out of Gaza, mask
Yeah.
off, saying Hamas wants to die.
The
What else do you have on that one?
the Associated Press came out with this video, and this video is of Donald Trump at his very usual meeting place of the press, where he is barely heard by any microphone because of the zooming of a W-16 or W-24 helicopter or plane jet engine in the background, uh, potentially so no one can hear all of the lies that he's spouting. I'm not sure, but you're just gonna hear it. Yeah, I mean, every single interview of his is always with some sort of engine in the background. I don't know if he's trying to like do some kind of redneck flex on people or something like that, but this is what he said.
U.S. giving up on Gaza in negotiations?
Yeah, Gaza, they pulled out of Gaza. They pulled out in terms of negotiating. It was too bad. Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die, and it's very, very bad.
Are you done with
And it got to be to a point where you're going to have to finish the job. And I said this was going to happen when you get down to your last 10 or 20. We got a lot of hostages out. We took them out in numbers that nobody believed, a lot of them. And I said, when you get down to 10 or 20, I don't think Hamas is going to make a deal because that means they have no protection. And basically, that's what happened. Hamas didn't want to make a deal.
I think, first of all, that's a ridiculous claim to make. That he just came mask off and said, "Well, we've got most of the hostages out, so now it's time to kill the rest of the hostages and everyone else with them." Right? Like, is that not what he just said? Literally.
So, I mean, I think it's just disingenuous. We know for the past, couple months at least that first of all, let's just say that, Hamas is, not a great There's not a good organization at all. Like what they've done has been insane. But we do know for a fact that Hamas has agreed to ceasefire deals in exchange for return of all the hostages to Israel and all the Palestinian hostages back into Palestine, into Gaza. And the people that are not accepting that deal is Israel. It's not Hamas. Hamas is coming in for all the shitty things that they've done. They're coming into negotiations in good faith, and they are trying to make a deal. And the people that are not trying to make a deal is Israel. So I think it's disingenuous to say that, Hamas is not, working with them now, because every single time they try to make a deal, it is just shot down by Israel. So
yeah,
make no mistake. I mean, Israel wants Hamas to stay in the power because they want an excuse to keep the genocide going.
Yep, 100%. And I mean, you see what they're doing to Gaza, and you see what they're starting to do to the West Bank. They're starting to obliterate every single thing so they can send their settlers in, and so they can, make anew. But genuinely, like, if they want more land, this is not the way to do it. And we know that they have no interest in doing a two-state solution. We've known that for years. And the reason we know that is because of a bombshell story that has come out, that I know we didn't talk about this earlier, but I'm just remembering this now, is that back in the 90s, when Benjamin Netanyahu was in power, he had a recording of Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky on the phone together talking about their affair. And they blackmailed him with it because Bill Clinton was really close to getting a deal done with Israel and Palestine for a two-state solution. And they used it like this phone call as blackmail that they were going to release before the affair was known about. They were going to use this phone call for blackmail, or they weren't going to. They did use this phone call for blackmail for Bill Clinton, so that this whole thing, that whole thing got sabotaged.
Yeah,
Right?
that was a breaking news article. I'm seeing the news article from Dropsite by Ryan Grimm.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Yeah.
That was
I mean, they've been intertwined in our politics for too long. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's time to take the money out of politics so that no foreign government has any control. And that goes for Israel, that goes for Saudi Arabia, that goes for Qatar, all of those countries. We need to take their lobbyists out of our government.
100% agreed. I was talking about it with my girlfriend actually yesterday, and what I was saying was, I was like, listen, like, in Oregon, for example, right, which is where I live, where you live, Maxine Waters, right, who is a district representative, I believe, in Southern Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. No, I have that name wrong. Sorry. Well, let's just do this one. Janelle Bynum, right? She is the highest paid by Israeli PACs in Oregon. And she is a congresswoman that represents the 4th district in Oregon, which is like, Oregon City, West Linn, all the way to Bend, right? She got paid $3 million by Israeli PACs, right? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, we have one person in Oregon's government that doesn't get paid by an Israeli PAC, and that is Jeff Merkley, right?
Even Ron Wyden?
Or sorry, I got that backwards. Ron Wyden.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, Jeff Merkley did take money.
hmm
But I'm sitting here and I'm like, just as I don't have any right to say what should happen in Tel Aviv, because I don't know what's happening in Tel Aviv, I don't have any stake in what's happening in Tel Aviv. They shouldn't have any stake on what's happening in Oregon City, Oregon, right?
Yeah.
They shouldn't have any stake on what's happening in Milwaukee, Oregon, right? Like, they don't care. And that's like the thing that just boggles my mind so much is like, why are we letting these foreign entities disrupt our elections with their money?
They have it top down, bottom up control of things that, we can say. I mean, we know for a fact, like, it is completely legal to boycott this country within this country, and it is not legal to boycott Israel in this country, which is it's so weird. It's just strange.
It really
But
is.
let's talk about the Ghislaine Maxwell talking to FBI, and then Gray Kelly just is coping heavily.
Yeah, and I was wrong actually.
Because
I was incorrect. Just really quick, both Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley have received money from pro-Israel groups.
That's really disappointing from Ron Wyden, because genuinely he's better than a lot of other politicians out there.
Over $1.2 million cumulatively since 1990, Ron Wyden has taken. I will say Jeff Merkley has taken, according to Open Secrets, $13,100.
Okay.
Which is much better, in my opinion.
I want to see what Ron Wyden's recent numbers are, because if they're still large, I kind of want to call his office and tell him to stop.
2021-2022 election cycle.
Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad.
But I mean, it's not as bad as Janelle Bynum. Janelle Bynum took $3 million this election cycle, and she was the one that beat Lori Chavez-DeRemer, who, if you know who Lori Chavez-DeRemer is an absolute horrible, horrible human being. And even Lori Chavez-DeRemer received $145,000 from pro-Israeli sources in the 2023-24 cycle. Janelle Bynum took $3 million, right? And voted for the Laken Riley Act as a black woman.
Wow.
I shouldn't have any right to say that as a white cisgendered man, but just from a very objective place, that is wrong. Because the Laken Riley Act is the most blatantly racist act to have been voted on in a long time in the U.S. Senate and U.S. Congress. So, anyway, continue.
Let's talk about one of the reasons why Israel has so much power in our politics, because we know that Jeffrey Epstein was likely Mossad, which is Israeli CIA, for those who don't know. And so right now we have Ghislaine Maxwell talking to the FBI, and Greg Kelly on Newsmax said she just might be a victim. She just might be. There was a rush to judgment. This is fucking unbelievable. I mean, we have multiple reports saying that, and multiple witnesses saying that when they were in the cars, in limos, or whatever with Ghislaine Maxwell, she would literally go by schools and then get kids' numbers and like have the driver stop and get kids' numbers. Yeah, that sounds like a real victim to me.
And not only sources, but that was literally her butler that just said that in an interview.
So
like this past week.
I don't know how this could be possible. Like, this is just not victim. She's not a victim. She was a leader in the Elite Sex Crimes Incorporated. This is so This is just insane cope. I have no idea. I mean, obviously they're just trying to run cover for Trump at this point.
100%.
Saying that Ghislaine is a victim at this point is just pretty much being like, well, she didn't have any control, so nothing, can't take anything she says seriously because she was a victim of Epstein, so she was forced to do all this stuff, and she might still be getting forced to do all this stuff. It's ridiculous.
I mean, this is quite literally like such a huge cope and seethe. Like they are just trying so fucking hard to make it so Donald Trump is innocent, and he's just not. And the fact that any Christian man, quote unquote Christian, right? Like Greg Kelly, for example, can say that Ghislaine Maxwell was a victim, that she just might be a victim because there was a rush to judgment on this, goes to show that these people know exactly what is happening. They know exactly that what he's guilty of. They know exactly what the extent of the crimes are, and yet they can't get themselves out of the cult. And I wonder why. And I think this is going to go even deeper into like the Mossad thing. I think not only are these people being threatened with their life on a daily basis if they don't say positive things about Trump, but I think Trump himself, because he is threatening everybody with their life, right? But he's not the top of the tree. I think Israel is top of the tree. Genuinely. I mean, people might be like, get your tinfoil cap off, blah, 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 whatever. But, I mean, think about it. It makes sense, right? If Israel has all this dirt on Trump, and they are telling Trump, hey, you have to do this or else we're going to kill you, right?
And it's not only on Trump, too. There's a reason why everybody else is, you know, defending it, too. Like, everybody's like, oh, it's because Trump's a dear leader. I'm like, yeah, it's true for some of them. But for another some of them, it's because they also have dirt on them. And they don't want anything else to come out.
And they know, too, like, if anything else does come out about it, about, not just Trump, about those other people that are guilty of the same thing, they know it's over for them, too,
I think the other disgusting thing about this quote from Greg Kelly is that there was a rush, the ending, there was a rush to judgment.
Right.
Ghislaine Maxwell was put on trial and convicted. How is that a rush to judgment?
Not only put
like,
on
do you
trial
not
and
know
convicted.
She wasn't just like thrown in prison?
Yeah,
she was literally convicted.
If I'm not mistaken,
went through a whole court trial.
If I'm not mistaken, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, right? Sorry, that's not right. The person who prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell is one of Trump's judges.
Judges, yeah, I believe so.
So then, who's rushing to judgment then? Is it Trump? Because at some point, right? At some point, these people have to admit that they made a mistake, which is something that they never do because they don't make mistakes, right? And we know this because when Trump started talking about Jermaine Powell in when he first wanted interest rates to start going down, right? What was the first thing he said about him? And he was surprised that he got put into power, right? Well, who put Jerome Powell into power? He did in his first term.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he just can't ever make a mistake. Nothing's ever about him, but it's always about him.
Well, he did make sort of a mistake. We can kind of move on. If we're talking about Jerome Powell, we can talk about Jerome Powell literally just...
that was a good segue, yes, but I mean, we move on, but we might have to come back,
Well, Jerome Powell, corrected his ass on live TV. If you want to pull that up,
yeah,
real quick.
Give me just a second. Keep on talking about it though. Give.
Yeah, so I think the backstory on this was they were talking about how much money they were putting into this new Fed remodel for the reserve, and Trump said it was Trump said it was 3.1 billion, and Jerome Powell was like, no, it's like 2.7 or something like that. And Jerome Powell was like, no, it's not 3.1 billion. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where these numbers are from. And Trump pulls out the numbers and gives him the paper, and he's like, yeah, you added on this renovation that we did like 5 years ago. That is not part of what we're doing right now. So this is just wrong. And Trump just like keeps going on like nothing happened. It's kind of weird. He's not used to being checked, that's for sure.
And it's very obvious he's not used to being checked because of his reaction too. Like he doesn't get angry. He doesn't like get sad. It looks like he's a little. He did actually look like he gets a little sad with the way that his body language is.
Kind of.
Honestly, like
Kind of.
he looks like he looks like he thought he knew he had this information correct because somebody. I mean, obviously he didn't get this information himself, right? Because even though it's really stupid information, it's still too smart for him to have. Because, I mean, this guy's a fucking idiot, you know? Like, any one of us could be a better president than him because we actually understand how these things work. And, I mean, to be quite frank, we don't even really deserve to have any part in presidency, in my opinion. But with that, regardless of that point, I'm like, dude, this guy didn't know the information that he had, was told it was correct, got told for the reasons it was not correct in such a clear way that even he understood, and then kind of sounded sad about it. Anyway, I'm going to play the video.
I wanted to see it, the overruns of the expenses, wanted to figure out why.
So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot.
I love how Jerome Powell is just like shaking his head no, you know,
It's like,
already. And he's like, nope.
So 2.7 is now 3.1.
Which, okay, hold on. That's just a just a little analysis of what he's saying too. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard anybody say. It was 2.7, so now it's 3.1. So we went from 2.7 to 3.1. It's 2.7. Now it's 3.1. Right? Is that not what he said?
Or a lot.
Yeah.
So the 2.7
Jesus.
is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Look at the smugness on his face too. Oh yeah, it just came out. Look at this. This is from you too, huh?
I haven't heard that from anybody from Fed.
It just came
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2.
Dude, get the fuck out of here, bro. You hear what he said? The dude on Trump's right, on our left. You hear what he said to Trump? Right there.
3.1.
He's like, oh yeah, we say it's like 3.12, about 3.1 or 3.2, yeah. It's like, why are you agreeing with him, bro? Are you that afraid of this man? Don't be afraid of him, bro. He's like a boogeyman. He's like a waking nightmare.
Won't even look at him.
Don't even
Weird.
exactly.
This came from us.
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You were including the market renovation. You just added our entire capital. You just added in a third building. Is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no, but it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years later.
It's part of the overall.
It's
So,
not new.
so we're going to take a look. We're going to see what's happening, and it's got a long way. Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them, but we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use, but no, we don't. Expect to be finished in 2027. We're well along, as you can see.
Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger. So, any questions?
God, if only there were some danger with taking that off. It's just shocking to me, you know? Like, as a president, you should be hiring these people to keep you in check, to challenge you, right? And yet, with both of Trump's admins that he's had, we've seen these people get hired and then instantly have to humiliate themselves for the cult, right? They've had to go in, humiliate themselves, as so to make Trump innocent of everything that whatever he's being accused of at the time, make a fool of themselves so then they can go higher into the ranks, right? Like I don't know what type of leader makes their jester their Department of Defense chair executive, except for like kings and queens who are so inbred to the point where like they couldn't actually think. You know what I mean?
I think it's gonna be really interesting to see how Jerome Powell, because this is like an obvious check, and people are like, "Wow, this is really fucking awkward." Trump actually doesn't do anything except like watch TV all day, so he's definitely catching wind on. People thought that this interaction was weird. I want to see how Jerome Powell like kind of takes this
Yeah.
for like his next interview that's going to be with him and Trump, and see if he's a good little boy now or if maybe he's going to stand on some business.
Well,
It's going to be pretty interesting to see there.
that's kind of what I'm interested in as well, because Jerome Powell has just been standing on business. You know, he just hasn't really made a position. And I think the more that Trump's presidency keeps on going in the second term, the more and more Jerome Powell's like, I kind of fucking don't like this guy, even though he's the one that
Yeah.
elected me, you know? And I mean, yeah, there's talk about him getting fired because the interest rates aren't going down, but there's a very good reason as to why interest rates aren't going down, because the power of the dollar is so weak. And because the US is in a fucking shitload of debt, we're going to go into even more debt, you know? But the thing is, if they do fire Jerome Powell and then they put a new Fed chair in, and the Fed chair lowers the interest rate like good little boy would do for Trump, it's gonna be one of those moments where like they humiliate themselves, because then that will destroy. I mean people keep on talking about like, oh, America is so done for, blah blah blah. You know, if interest rates don't go down, if they stay at a really high rate, which is bad, right? But it's good for the country because the economy won't collapse. But if they lower interest rates to a point where we're going to have hyperinflation and the economy is going to collapse, and if you have any like cash or any money in anywhere, like if you don't have your money in like gold and silver, you're fucked. You're going to become homeless. Or either that, or just because everything is so fucked, like there's going to be anarchy and people are just not going to know what to do. Like anything is free game, you know? It's going to be fucking crazy if they try to do it, because they're going to collapse everything, right? At least from everything I've read, that is what will most likely happen. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually try to fire Jerome Powell or if Jerome Powell stays in. I think the position of what they say versus what they do is going to be very clear. Because if they do fire Jerome Powell, that means that they want the country to collapse. But if they keep him in power and keep on saying all of these other things, we know exactly what they're standing on. You know, we know exactly why they're here. And that is not to destroy the dollar, to destroy people's lives. It's to destroy people's lives in a much different way, in a much different sense, in the sense of like putting people in concentration camps, political dissidents in concentration camps, what have you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're pretty much right on the money there. I mean, Trump is, if you were to put somebody in power that their goal was to completely destroy the country, I mean, you would do exactly what Trump is doing. Even on the fact of like just random, little things that shouldn't be, too much of a big deal. I think for that kind of jumps into our next story, as like the Venezuelan Little League team just gets denied entry into US to compete. It's like little things like that are going on the global scale are going to be like, hey, America's not like it's not a safe place to go, but they're also just like, why would you ever want to go there? They're like denying, teams from entering the US. They're out here saying that during the World Cup, like they're gonna kick people out of the country once the World Cup is over. Like the other people, the other countries are not gonna want to leave. They're gonna kick them out. Like,
yeah,
it's just weird.
Okay, so relating it back to Nazi Germany, like we should, because this is kind of turning into the same thing, just on a much faster scale, but also a much more unpopular scale. We just have a lot less power than people did back then, in my opinion. The 1938 Olympics, right? Yeah, because it was before Poland was invaded. The 1938 Olympics were held in Germany, right? In Nazi Germany. And it's so curious because not only were black people allowed at that Olympics, but they also won events. And I very much feel like when the World Cup was held here, we're not going to see a team like Senegal or Cameroon or Argentina, probably the best team coming in to the World Cup.
Oh no, you'll see it. You'll see Argentina.
No. I'm not saying we will see those teams. We will not see them win. And I think there's a very obvious reason as to why we will not see them win. Right?
I see.
You're gonna see if the United States of America wins, we have to have a conversation, and we have to be really honest with ourselves about Donald Trump and rigging things, because our team fucking sucks. We suck.
It depends on where the championship is held, because it is. I think how the World Cup is gonna work is it's gonna be like some of the stuff is gonna be in the U.S.
Yes.
and
Some
some
of
of the
it's in
stuff is gonna be in
Mexico.
Canada.
Yeah, and
Some of it's in Mexico. So it's just like, depending on where that championship is, if the U.S. wins in the other spots, it's like, yeah, this shit's gonna be rigged big time.
the only thing I could be wrong in saying this, I think there is a clause between the FIA, which is like, or not the FIA, between FIFA and between the North American nations of Canada, United States, and Mexico. If it is deemed that it is unsafe for one of the countries to be held in, which at the time when this was written up, it looked like it was like, oh, like if Mexico is unsafe to be in, yeah, for sure, then it can't be held in that country. I don't think that they're talking about Mexico anymore, and it certainly isn't Canada either anymore.
But isn't the chair of FIFA like in bed with Trump?
Oh, dude, yeah. And when we say
So
in
I don't
bed,
think there's
they're
gonna
fucking
be
for sure.
I don't think there's gonna be too much of I don't know. I don't think that they're gonna switch up based on, like, especially for the US. Like if it was another country, then sure. But
Yeah,
I think FIFA's too in bed with Trump right now to do anything about it.
yeah, it kind of seems like it. But I mean, going back just a little bit to the Venezuelan Little League team denied entry. I mean, this is one every single summer when the Little League World Series, emphasis on world, comes, like, there has never been a team that isn't allowed to come in. And for fuck's sake, man, they're kids. They're
Dude,
fucking kids.
no, but you don't understand. You really don't understand. These kids, they had MS-13 gang tattoos on them. That's why they got kicked out.
You're right. And the other thing that you have to understand too is that, these kids were directly tied in the signing of Venezuela being a part of OPEC.
Yeah, so obviously we can't let kids in that were involved in that.
No, because, like,
surely
we're trying to get our oil out of Saudi Arabia, and now Venezuela is sending their oil to Saudi Arabia to send to us.
Yeah, like obviously this shit is just insanely ridiculous. Like that, man. I don't know what this country's coming to. We can't let the Venezuelan team come in here and compete in the Little League World Series because they're afraid of what? Kids being gang members, kids slinging drugs to other kids on the fucking. What are we talking about, man?
Yeah, I know.
Just let the kids compete in the World Cup, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
And part of it to me is, it's like, I think part of it, I think a lot of it is racism, but I think the other part of it too here, it's like, as a last point, is like they're so afraid of Venezuelan Little League team winning in the US because that would look horrible. And I genuinely think that's one of the reasons why they're kicking them out too, because it's just like, oh, we can't have Venezuela win. If Venezuela wins this, we look like shitty people. But it's like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's like it's not that fucking deep. You're looking way too far into it. You're thinking that kids, or maybe the coaches of these kids that are in the little league team, are fucking gang members, and they're gonna stay in the country somehow. I just don't. Just
No,
not buying it, and nobody else is buying it either.
they just don't know how to be people. You know, they're and I think this is any conversation about politics. I think in this day and age, especially American politics, can always be wrapped around to one thing, and it's that these people are so out of touch with reality. They're so out of touch with how, like, not only everyday people in America, but everyday people from around the world, because the middle class Americans have a very similar life to most everybody else around the world, right? But the people that are living in those billionaire classes, they are so out of touch with the rest of the population, even though
Oh
they're
yeah,
like a part of the ruling class. They don't really understand what it means to be human, what it means to have any sort of I mean, Elon Musk said it himself, right? He said to have empathy is to have weakness. And that in of itself is like just not only morally wrong, but it is actually just statistically incorrect and
it really is.
psychologically incorrect, as we know from Maslow. There's just so many different things that it, we just know from the policies that these people are putting in that they're so out of touch with everything there is to know about anything. Um, and I
I think.
think, go ahead.
Yep. Oh, I think just like the last time, because it's 11, so
Yeah, yeah.
we're gonna wrap it up here in just a second. But I think one thing that sucks with the billionaires, like with Elon Musk and with Trump, is that they have this very primitive way of thinking of how peace spreads across the world, and they like to use like the peace through strength, and I just disagree with that. I think you got to flip that around. Is you have to it's strength through peace. That's
Mm-hmm.
how you really build strength on a global scale, is through peace. So I really hate the primitive way of thinking of like, oh, the strongest people will just take over and build the peace like that. We've done that for I don't know how many fucking years now, and it never fucking works.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I think our favorite content creator, Kyle Kalinske said, what did Roosevelt used to say? Speak softly and carry a big stick, right?
Hmm.
But instead, Trump speaks harshly and hits everyone with his stick. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and that is literally like, if you think about it, if you carry a big stick and you speak at everybody loudly and threaten them, what are you? You're a fucking caveman.
Literally, literally.
Right? Like, if you want to go to the Oregon caves and see cavemen, you can see them, and you will see that they carry a lot of similar traits physically. But when you actually get to know those people, they are actually very intelligent people. It's what they represent that is actually just very ironic. I think there is one more thing that we should touch on while it's still kind of news relevant, though, even though it is 11 o'clock. Just really quick, I know we're going to go over a little bit, is that did you see the clip of the Texas senator this past week?
Greg Abbott? No.
No, that's
What
the
did he
Texas
say?
governor. I'm
Oh,
talking about John
the
Cornyn.
Senate. Oh, okay. Go on.
He he said in a Senate meeting that he was like, I'll just play the clip too, but he was like, you see what's going on down there in Florida? They got one of them alligator Alcatrazes. I want me one of them alligator Alcatrazes in
You're
Texas.
kidding.
I'm not joking, bro. It was the lamest fucking dick ride I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like watching two fucking 90-year-olds fuck. It's wild. Um, let's see here. Wants his own alligator Alcatraz.
Facilitate getting people out of this country. Oh God. Yikes! Yikes! Yikes!
Conditions.
Here we go. This is this is Houston Channel 11. Okay, which I mean, any corporate media, local news media probably has a right-wing bias. I haven't watched this, so I'm curious to see what they have to say about
At
this.
migrant detention centers in Texas have been described by some as inhumane, with reports of inadequate food, water, sanitation, and overcrowding as well. Nearly 3 months ago, remember this, migrants made the display at a Texas center spelling out SOS. But now Senator John Cornyn says he wants a new facility similar to Florida's new and controversial alligator Alcatraz. That Florida facility is literally surrounded by alligator-filled swamps that are meant to deter illegal immigration. During a Senate hearing, the senator said he hopes other states like Texas will set up their own similar detention.
That's not the clip of him saying it. That's stupid. I want the clip of him saying. I'm probably not gonna be able to find the clip of him saying it in time, but he did say it. He said that he wants his own. That he wants Trump to be able to. He wanted Trump to notice him saying it too. He wanted them to notice very badly. From the clip that I watched when I was watching the Luke Beasley show a couple days ago. Shout out Luke Beasley. Yeah, it was just really interesting. I was like, huh, you guys are just all fall in line, man. All fall in line so you can just get knocked over by knocked over like dominoes, because it's gonna happen eventually. And I don't know if you heard the story too about the last thing here, pulling up into the Florida detention facility. They had a bus full of people, a lot of them legal immigrants in the U.S., and they kept them in the bus for 24 hours without food, without water, with
God.
one toilet, a toilet that usually is only used for urination, and it quickly got clogged, and it obviously we know what's gonna happen, just fucking
man.
abhorrent. I mean, I think it's the last thing we should say here is, I don't think the next person should run on it, but when they get elected, especially if they're going to be like a Tim Walz, FDR type person, we need Nuremberg trials for these motherfuckers.
Wait a minute, bro.
What?
Did Cornyn, did he say that?
He did say that.
And then he wanted Trump to notice? Is that because he's getting primaried
I wonder.
by Paxton?
Huh. I didn't read that, but that would
Oh
make
shit,
sense.
I think it is. Well, I don't know. I just made the connection because one of the related stories on here is that there's a Texas Senate race between Cornyn and Paxton. So he probably wants Trump to support him so he won't fucking get ousted.
Yep.
Wow,
probably.
that's fucking low.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't think a Trump support, is really a ticket to success at this point right now for a lot of the Republican voter base.
In Texas, it might still
could
be.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Yeah. Hopefully around the US that's not the same case, but
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Let's wrap it.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll do some more football, and there's obviously going to be more news surrounding politics. So
yeah,
let's just hope some of it can be good.
As the show goes on, it'll be probably more football focused with maybe like a 35-minute politics section once football season starts. Because once football season starts, there's too much stuff to cover with football, but we're also paying attention to the politics at all times. So
yep, and
we'll give you
at least a little bit of politics in each episode.
Yeah,
if not,
we'll still get like the biggest stories or the things that we think are the biggest stories. So if you guys like that, stay tuned for that. So yeah.
Yep. This will be posted to YouTube channel and our Substack as well. I might do a couple of mock-ups on the Substack. I meant to do one for the draft and I forgot. And what we ended up together getting like 18 out of the first 32 picks correct in the first round of the NFL draft, which is like better than a lot of the pundits out there. So I'm making sure that from now on that we actually post stuff to Substack so then we can get noticed, because we're way fucking smarter than all the people in the fucking sports sphere right now. It's actually not even funny how much more we know, because we don't have to. I mean, granted, a little bit of that is because we don't have to talk every day and come up with different things, stories to talk about, like sports radio people do and sports talk television does, because all of them, they have to say the wrong things eventually just for like a click. But we're getting everything right here, and I hope you stay tuned for it, because when we have our fantasy advice, it's going to be game over for the rest of your league if you follow our advice.
Fantasy advice is good, and you can look on if we have any of like the old videos, the Nick Westbrook Akine, we were right on the money on that shit from the whole time.
Yep.
When everybody else was telling you to start him during the fucking playoffs. So
Yep.
Yeah. That's just like a big aside, but yeah.
Yep. I was even correct about Taysom Hill's pop off week. So.
Dude, yeah, that's true. That was crazy.
Yep.
All right.
Anyway, we'll see you next week. We love everybody. I hope you all have a good week as well. Stay positive out there, y'all.